There you see Jerry Brown, the defensive coordinator. He says he likes to get input from his players. Thinks if they have a vested interest, they play better. He asks his team, what do you guys want to do?
The fake to Dane. Bollinger. Boy, a nifty escape to the first down out near the 33-yard line. A gain of 6. Wayne, Missouri finally recovered, but Bollinger, you know, the point is, and you made it earlier, Randy, Bollinger's feet give Wisconsin the extra dimension, not so much his arm.
Well, it's the arm in combination with the feet. Here, it's really pretty good coverage. Not really anywhere for Bollinger to get rid of that ball, and yet it was really covered pretty well. Not really open, just missed tackles. And when you miss 2 tackles on a quarterback, he's going to pick up some yards.
Dane to the outside. Kyle Sanders not going to get him. Dane runs out of real estate near the 50-yard line. Penalty marker down on the far side.
As quickly and as clearly as that opened up, could be a hold against Wisconsin. Yeah, there was nobody to the outside for Northwestern.
Yeah, they threw it at the offensive line, and that's the case. That wipes out a 17-yard gain. Casey Robach arguing his case to no avail.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
These Northwestern linebackers are the playmakers on their teams. Take a look here if we can see the penalty.
Oh my.
There you see, that was a pretty good tackle.
Casey. He can swing over and play defensive line if they need to.
I don't think they tackled Ron Dane that well today.
Oh my. 1st and 20. Dane. Bentley. Nicely done. Loss of a yard.
We were talking earlier, these Northwestern linebackers are the strength of this defense, the playmakers. All of them are sophomores. Napoleon Harris, Billy Silva, Kevin Bentley. And they just need to start making some plays. And here Bentley using his speed, beats the block, and hits Ron Dane going sideways. Dane not running at him this time. You get some momentum, you hit him sideways. Nice tackle by the Big Ten's leading tackler there.
2nd and long. 3 receivers, trips to the top of your screen. Bollinger not going to get very far this time. Javier Collins, a junior from St. Paul, Minnesota, stayed home to make the play on the quarterback.
You may think this is great coverage, but really it's a designed quarterback draw. You see Ron Dane going up there to throw a block. You see the lineman downfield blocking. That tells you it's a designed play. The Badgers not taking much of a chance, in Northwestern now maybe wanting to save some time on the clock with 2:17 to go.
14 quarterback sacks this season for Northwestern, ranking way back in the pack of the Big Ten. And they just got their first sack today. Let's take a look at what's on tap. Brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is frost brewed to capture a cold, refreshing taste. Tap the Rockies. Coming up for Wisconsin next Saturday at Purdue. That's a big game. 22nd ranked Purdue. And then the windup against Iowa. Always a pretty good rivalry game there. For the Northwestern Wildcats, they've got 3 to go. Michigan coming here, then Michigan State, or actually at Michigan, then Michigan State will come here, and then the wind-up, the in-state battle at Illinois this year.
That Wisconsin-Purdue game is a huge game. Wisconsin still in the thick of the Big Ten race. Penn State leading right now and undefeated. Purdue, always a tough place to play at, and against that offense is one that maybe most coaches fear more than anything else because they're so unfamiliar with Drew Brees and the style of offense that Joe Tiller runs.
3rd and 23. And these are situations Wisconsin often doesn't find itself in.
They don't face this many times. It'd be something, I think, conservative. Don't risk a turnover, or maybe just hand off to Ron Dane and see if he can make it.
Ron Dane on the stretch play. Got about 8 yards, but not nearly enough for the first down. And, of course, that play not really designed to get the first down unless somebody breaks defensively.
Exactly. It's designed to do a couple things. Keep the ball in your possession and force Northwestern to use one of its timeouts.
Peggy Kaczynski's on the sidelines. Peggy?
Well, safety Michael Jones is in the back here now, pretty banged up after that last series of plays. He has his shoulder wrapped up. They said they're going to take him in at halftime and evaluate him, but he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and he's got some ice on that neck also. He may have gotten a stinger on that hit on Rondane. Coming up at halftime, our National Car Rental halftime report. You'll see about Michigan and Indiana, Purdue, Minnesota, Iowa, and Ohio State, plus first half highlights and stats with Mike Gleason. National Car Rental halftime report is about 2 minutes and 8 seconds away, at least as far as the game clock is concerned. Maybe a little bit more, depending on how many stoppages of play we get. Well, Derek Thompson dropping back deep to receive. Coming into today, he had returned just one punt for 3 yards. This is why Sam Simmons started the season. John Schweiger took over, and again, others just 4 returns for 26 yards. So this is where the injuries to both those 2 wide receivers, Schweiger and Simmons, really are felt by the Wildcats.
And what you really want with Derek Thompson is somebody who can catch the ball and give his team what should be good field position.
That punt was almost blocked, and matter of fact may have been partially blocked by Quentin Brown, blasting up the middle untouched.
Huge play at a big time for Northwestern, causing Stemke to kick the ball off the side of his foot will give Northwestern excellent field position, and with over 2 minutes to go, needs to get something going and put some points on the board. There you see, don't know if that ball was tipped. See if we can tell from here. I don't think it was. I think it just caused Stemke to kick it off to the side.
Man, but when you got a guy like number 49 coming up the middle untouched, that would shake your concentration.
That's just an outstanding individual effort. I don't know that Northwestern had the block call, just a good individual effort to get through there.
Anderson, pretty well-designed play, and he cut it back for about 5 or 6 yards. Our lineman of the week is brought to you by efollette.com. For new and used college textbooks, get on a line with efollette.com. Akin Adele, freshman defensive end from Irving, Texas, is our lineman of the week. That's 7 tackles, 4 behind the line, 2 sacks against Penn State last week. Wide open. First and goal. Ian Miller, the fullback. 25 yards. Somebody broke coverage there.
Well, Wisconsin has been coming up to the line of scrimmage with their defensive back stopping this run. This time you see Ian Miller just go right through. Nice play-action pass. There you see Donnell Thompson and Mike Eccles run right by number 3, Ian Miller. A better pass gets this ball into the end zone. A nice pass there, though, results in a big play.
First and goal, Anderson spinning away down near the 6-yard line. That time he was hit initially by Wendell Bryant and then wrapped up by Chris Gadorzi. This is Northwestern's opportunity, Randy, to get back into the ball game right here. They do have 1 timeout remaining, as you can see.
Well, they're taking some time off the clock, less than a minute to go, but they need to get this ball in the end zone.
Yes.
And a pass that should have resulted in a touchdown puts them down on the 6-yard line. They need to finish this off.
Anderson, the tail of the tandem in the eye. Slot to the bottom of your screen. Kustok play action. To the end zone, wide of the mark. Derek Thompson, the intended receiver. Kustok has been hesitant, and Randy, he's been late with his throws today, as we talk.
Without a doubt, but what you want to do as a quarterback, the things I was always taught, the first thing you need to do, find your safeties, identify your safeties. The second thing, you need to throw the ball on time. If you don't throw it on time, you're not going to complete many passes.
In the red zone. Take a look at this. Very strong numbers for the Wisconsin defense. 3rd and goal to go from the 6. Kustok fakes to Anderson. Into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Intercepted on the play by Wisconsin's Mike Eccles. And Kustok's inaccuracy cost Northwestern big. They come away with nothing out of that series.
Well, that was a play that I thought it was designed for him to run the ball in. He had a couple of blockers in front of him. Here you see Kevin Wilson telling his offense, keep it up, don't get down. Look at the blockers he's got in front of him. I thought he could have run this ball into the end zone, trying to throw Pretty nice coverage there by Eccles coming off of his man is Aaron Burrell, number 7. Look how well they're all covered back there.
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
open. You just can't force that ball and take 3 points off the board for sure.
Dean to run out the clock. Under 30 seconds remaining in this first half. Wisconsin leading 14-0.
Now, Wayne, what cost them that touchdown more than anything was the pass to Ian Miller that got him down there. A little better pass. He's wide open. He walks into the end zone. The first missed big play is really what cost him the touchdown.
Kustok 5 of 12, 45 yards, 2 of his last 9. The last one resulting in an interception in the end zone that cost Northwestern points. Wisconsin, Ron Dayne, already over 100 yards rushing, leading at halftime by 14. Let's go to the studio and Mike Gleason. We'll be right back to Mike Gleason after these messages.
Someday, there will be no Alzheimer's. At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, we're searching for the cause. Someday, we'll treat childhood genetic diseases before a single symptom appears. And someday, chronic depression will be a thing of the past because of what we're learning today. The University of Wisconsin-Madison. It's going to be a great century.
Get ready to toss it up and throw it down. The Bulls battle the Knicks in Chicago's home opener. And this season, these new school Bulls are set to run and gun.
Bring it up! Yes, it counts!
Catch Chicago Bulls basketball.
On the drive, scored
Because Chicago's ready to hoop.
Tony to the left hand, nicely done.
The season starts November 3rd at 7 on WCIU Channel 26, The U.
Thinking about hair loss? Well, now there are more options available to men experiencing hair loss than ever before. Call 1-888-2MERC2 to learn more and about a special money-saving offer. Or call your doctor to discover which one is best for you. Millions of men have already started using them, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-888-2MERC2 to find out more and about a special money-saving offer. Stop just thinking about it. Call today. Merck, helping make hair loss history.
Welcome to the National Car Rental Halftime Report, brought to you by National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Halftime in Evanston, Illinois. Now the Wildcats have been giving up 30 points the last 4 weeks. It's only 14-0, but the Badgers lead it by a couple of touchdowns. Well, when Michigan blew a 20-point lead last Saturday and watched the 27-7 ball game turn into a nightmare by eventually losing to Illinois right here on the Big Ten Network, that meant two things could happen today when the Wolverines headed for Bloomington. Hoosier fans could hope Michigan hadn't recovered yet, or, well, Cam Cameron knew what the other one was. But Indiana will roll the dice with anyone with Antoine Randall L. making things happen there. He'll have to make things happen because the Hoosiers have only 10 points in the last 2 meetings with Michigan. Wolverines ball, opening possession. Tom Brady, a lot of time. Marcus Knight out in the flat, finds the sidelines, and he is gone 36 yards. Later on the drive now, Anthony Thomas caps off the drive. 1-yard plunge, up and over. Thomas, the A-Train, having a big game last week before he was injured. Michigan 7-0. Next, Antoine Randall L. out to Craig Osika. He gets the football in the flat. He's stripped. James Whitley comes up with it for the Wolverines. Michigan kicks a field goal, and it's now 17-7. The Michigan Wolverines over Indiana. The Wolverines won 9 straight, 24 of 25 in the series. Let's go to Columbus right now. It's homecoming in the Horseshoe. First of all, it's Purdue in Minnesota. Drew Brees. He's had 7 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks. Goes upstairs, double covered, and he still finds his man for the touchdown. It's Tim Stratton, 7-0. Thomas Hamner comes back, makes the cut, gets inside, and he's in. That made it 10-7. Minnesota now on the 20-yard line. Bolo Boilermakers' Chris Clopton picks off Billy Cockrum, but Purdue is unable to convert. Now, a lot of people thought this would be a fireworks with Purdue or Minnesota's defensive struggle. Actually, looks like defense is winning out, even though the Gophers on the short end of a 10-7 ball game there from the Metrodome. Okay, now let's go to Columbus, Ohio. It's homecoming for John Cooper and his Buckeyes. Look at this. Scott Mullen, opening drive, and that's Casper over the middle. Ott can't catch him. He's in, and they go for 2, and they convert. It's 8-0. The Buckeyes come right back, but it's 4th and goal. Jonathan Wells just gets inside the pylon, and it's 8-7 after they kick the extra point. Now Belisari, the sophomore quarterback, ran for an 18-yard touchdown. This time on the bootleg, no. It's Hauser, the tight end, 3 yards, and he scores. And the Buckeyes now up 21-8 over Iowa, and it's at halftime there as well. Well, Michael Wiley had 118 yards against Minnesota, his 9th 100-yard game. Number 10 could come today. Again, it's homecoming in Columbus. Penn State and Illinois. They'll kick it at 3:30. Now, for Penn State, now the Lions find themselves in the same predicament Ohio State was in last year. They lost to Michigan State, of course, but the Lions still have Minnesota, Michigan, and Michigan State. Still no easy path through the Sugar Bowl. Let's go to the Big 12. Check out number 12, Texas. Halloween against the Cyclones. Chris Robertson now pounds his way in, a yard out. Texas goes up 7-0. Again, this is a relatively slow game there. 12:10 to go before halftime. Texas and Iowa State tied at 7-7. Now, Major Applewhite has withstood the arrival of Chris Sims pretty well there. He's thrown for at least 200 yards and a touchdown in 18 straight games. But as you can see, not yet because it's 7-7. South Carolina and Tennessee. 7-0 Volunteers. Now, no program in the SEC has ever finished 0-11. The Gamecocks could be the first. Boston College couldn't wait for Miami. They let that one slip away last week. All right, taking on number 24 Syracuse today. Look at this. BC on the kickoff, and this is DeJuan Daniels. Breaks the wedge, breaks to the outside, and he has gone the distance. 100 yards. Great way to open up the ball game just like last week for Boston College. It's 7-0. BC on the 11-yard line now. Tim Hasselbeck weaving his way through traffic, puts his shoulder down. He's in for the score, and Boston College leads at 14-10 at that juncture. Right now it's 17-14. Syracuse has come back to take the lead. Boston College, of course, blowing a 28-0 lead against the Hurricanes, losing it last week. West Virginia and Miami. West Virginia leads at 10-0 over the Hurricanes here. Rutgers, 7-0 Temple in the first, 5:01 to go. Arkansas, 14-0 over Auburn. The Razorbacks are 4-2, but against teams that are a combined 5-24. In the ACC, Clemson and Wake Forest. Now, the Deacons, well, they haven't beaten Clemson. They've beaten Clemson just 3 times since 1977. In Maryland, they clobbered North Carolina last week. They're taking on Duke. End of the first quarter, they are in a scoreless tie. You're watching the National Car Rental Halftime Report, and it's halftime. The Badgers and the Wildcats, Wisconsin by 2 touchdowns.
Is the Walt Disney World Resort. You see, National gets you to all the exciting new rides and attractions fast. For a magical adventure your family will never forget. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go with National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Walt Disney World Resort. Let's go.
So it's like 6:30. He comes in and we're in the finals. I figured we'd be there all night, but...
Finally, you can use your cell phone the way you really need to.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Free nights, free weekends,
Definitely borrow these.
200 minutes, a free digital phone. And best of all,
Yeah.
Ameritech Cellular's reliable wireless network.
Hey, thanks for walking me home.
Call 1-800-MOBILE-1. Hurry, offer ends soon.
All I do is dream of you the whole night through. With the dawn I still go on and dream of you. You're every thought, you're everything, you're every song I ever sing.
For those who must design trucks to compete with Dodge Ram, there is no rest.
All I do is dream of
Welcome to the National Car Rental Halftime Report, brought to you by National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Time to take a step into the classroom to check out this week's Cargill Academic Achiever. This week, Wisconsin's Allie Blomquist really is the true definition of a scholar athlete. This Badger golfer carries a 3.95 in physics. Hats off to Allie Blomquist of Wisconsin for a job well done. And remember, Cargill cares about education. Basketball attendance for the Wisconsin men's basketball team went up by over 2,400 fans last year as Dick Bennett's Badgers piled up 22 wins. As far as Jane Albright's women's team, well, they're not far behind. They not only had their best Big Ten finish last year, but the last 2 Big Ten Freshman of the Year awards have gone to Badgers. And don't be surprised if Wisconsin makes it back-to-back seasons with the top rookie in the league. Wisconsin's athletic program can boast about having one of the most sought-after, powerful players ever to compete in the Big Ten. And no, we aren't talking about Heisman candidate Ron Dane. Nina Smith, 2-time parade All-American from Waterloo, Iowa, chose the University of Wisconsin over Tennessee and Iowa.
And I wanted to come here, and it's such a school that has such a balance of basketball, grades, other things going on, but yet we are still good in basketball. We still focus on major things. So that was one of my major decisions, just to come and be a part of something and contribute what I can.
At 6'4", 230 pounds, Nina is expected to make an immediate impact.
Her size, rebound, and ability to score on the low block is exceptional in all of those. Very, very strong for a freshman. Someone that hasn't really been on a great weight program has still come out and, you know, she was really banging everybody around.
Nina's strong physical play, which helped her dominate in high school, could be compared to the style of, well, number 33 himself. In fact, it was Dane who had heard about the incoming freshman and made a point to introduce himself as she moved in.
He just came up to me and introduced himself, and I was like, hi, it's nice to meet you, and we just kind of talked about, like, I asked him some questions about, like, how he feels, like, if he's under pressure and things like that, and how Madison is to him.
Was the Heisman candidate helpful?
Yeah, definitely. It was really helpful because I was so intimidated when I first got up here and didn't know really what to expect.
One thing that her opponents can expect is a very tough competitor.
I like getting down there and being physical and posting up. I mean, the way I look at it is the lane is my house, and I'm not going to let anybody get in there. I'm going to do what I have to do to score, play defense hard. But I also like stepping out a little bit, shooting from the outside, changing up a little bit, and do what I need to do as opposed to help our team be successful.
Some exciting times in Madison, and we'll have more excitement coming your way next Saturday right here on the Big Ten Network. Some of the young Northwestern Wildcats make their first trip into Michigan Stadium. And we'll be back with more of today's National Car Rental Halftime Report right after this.
Almost overnight, it became part of the landscape and changed everything. It made trips seem less like work, errands easier, the cottage closer. It was so comfortable it was like we never left home. And like home, there's still no place like it. Dodge Caravan, the most innovative, most imitated, most trusted, best-selling minivan ever. Starting at $18,525.
This man has found that a 1966 Mustang is a finicky little lady. She demands love, devotion, and a 4-barrel Holley carburetor. At Advanced Auto Parts, it's our job to see that she gets the carburetor and any other hard-to-find part overnight. As for the love and devotion, well, let's just say there are some things we won't get involved with.
Today, and only one will come back a winner. It's up. It's good. We're at the 17th hole. Coach, you've got to put me in. Here's the putt. This place is rocking. Oh, yeah. So I want you to go out there and do your best. A Cinderella story. Yes!
Sports can teach her how to dream.
I love you guys.
You can help her dream big.
Woohoo! They're killing me.
Car
insurance. How much do we hate shopping for it? Let's find out. Excuse me, sir. Would you rather shop for car insurance or have a root canal?
What kind of a question is that? Root canal?
Now, if you insist. This won't hurt a bit.
Folks, the man is having root canal performed on his left bicuspid.
How about now? Shopping for car insurance or root canal?
Root canal, baby.
Well, either shopping for car insurance is excruciatingly painful or root canal is fun. You decide.
Need a painless way to shop for insurance? QuickenInsurance.com instantly gets you quotes from top companies. And with a click, you can buy without any pressure. You'll also find tools to help you choose the right kind of insurance. Quicken made personal finance painless for over 10 million people. Now they're doing it with QuickenInsurance.com.
Which is more painful, shopping for car insurance or polka music? Tune in tomorrow.
Check out QuickenInsurance.com. Auto, life, whatever. How easy is this?
What are we doing?
Wait a minute, are we back at Evanston? Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright. And let's take a look at some of the highlights of the first half of this afternoon's game as the Wildcats battled the Badgers of Wisconsin. And take a look at the package right here.
Well, pretty true to form is what we thought, is Brooks Bollinger running the option, using his feet to get the first touchdown. Of course, Ron Dane, what you expect to have, huge hole as he runs through and put some more points on the board for the Badgers.
Well, you know, you take a look at the situation right here. This is Zach Kustok, ill-advised pass here. He had at least two people, maybe three out in front of him who could have escorted him into the end zone had he continued to run the football.
Ill-advised throw, as you said, really cost Northwestern a chance to get back in the game at that point.
And you look at the stats, and we'll see the stats a little bit later on coming up, but it's a situation where Northwestern is right there statistically, but the play at the quarterback position has not given them a chance to reach the scoreboard.
He's got to be more accurate throwing the ball. They want to run it. He's doing a nice job of running it. Time of possession is very equal, but they need to be more accurate when he throws the ball because they need to take advantage of some of those plays.
Ron Dane in the first half and on the season, you get a look at what he does. He averages about 102 yards rushing per first half, but here today, off to a very good start once again is Ron Dane, and all he needs is 161 yards rushing per game in the last 3 games to break the all-time NCAA record. We're at halftime in Evanston. It is 14-0, Wisconsin over Northwestern. We'll be back after these messages.
Ready for this? Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
And so another semester begins, and yes, you'll need textbooks. You and every other future leader of America. But this is college. There are no lines in college. College is for thinking. You realize E-Follett, the world's largest provider of new and used college textbooks, is standing by, just waiting to take your order and deliver it to your door. People, if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes. Get out of line. eFollett.com. New and used college textbooks.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Are you ready for this? Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
Montague Rizigi is developing technology that will carry millions of bits of information faster. She's also developing a wonderful rapport with her 6 students. Mary Zimmerman is our national attention as a dynamic theater director. Her 15 students also give her rave reviews. Robert Lamb is an internationally recognized expert on the flu virus. His 30 biology students find his enthusiasm quite contagious. Northwestern University, where big ideas
come in small classes.
Back at a glorious day in Evanston. 14-0 Badgers over the Wildcats. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Peggy Kaczynski. Take a look at the numbers now. Northwestern got almost 4 yards rushing per play in that first half. The time of possession, not a lot of difference there. I mean, Northwestern would take that going in, but that one turnover cost Northwestern an opportunity to really get back into this game.
And when you look at those statistics, and they're really pretty even. You look at the board, it's 14-0, but when you consider Northwestern had a touchdown opportunity they didn't take advantage of, and one of Wisconsin's touchdown drives was only 36 yards, it could be very even on the scoreboard as well.
Individually in the first half, Brooks Bollinger kind of quiet through the air, did some damage on the ground a little bit. Ron Dane, 108 yards. That's consistent for him. Thompson, a great job at linebacker. Kustok, very inaccurate. 3 of those 5 completions were difficult catches for his receivers. 1 cost a touchdown. Anderson, nice yardage on the ground for him. And the offensive line, Randy, has appeared to really do a good job of opening some holes for Anderson, at least initially, to get through. Now, the linebackers really close the gaps quickly for Wisconsin. Let's get down to the sidelines. Peggy Kaczynski. Peggy?
Wayne, I talked about coaches, and for the Badgers, John Palermo says he's worried about their lethargic play. They made some minor adjustments, but more than anything, they want to be able to carry the momentum of the pick in the end zone to end the first half over into the second half. As for Randy Walker, he's actually very pleased with Zach Kustok's performance. He's more worried about special teams. You can't shank a punt and then give up a touchdown thereafter.
Did you say he was pleased with Zach Kustok?
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, expectations being what they are, I guess.
Well, I think Kustok is executing the offense fairly well, but he needs to take advantage of the big plays when he gets that opportunity, and that's not happening.
Kickoff from Tim Long with the wind to his back. And Wisconsin will start out at its 20-yard line. Take a look at the first half numbers for the Wisconsin Badgers, as their possession chart reads touchdown, punt, touchdown, and then I think Northwestern did a pretty good job of containing this bunch after that.
Well, not only containing it, you disregard the very last drive. It was only the one play before half, but other than that, they kept them from controlling the ball, and the more chances they give this offense to get on the field, the better chances they have to put points on the board, because they're not likely to do it quickly.
Dane into a crowd and gets just about 2 yards on the play. Fumbled, and it's recovered by Northwestern. The man who came up with it was Kyle Sanders, and the Wildcats turn things around inside the 25-yard line.
Well, Ron Dane, not known much for fumbling, this time gets gang tackled, and there are a lot of bodies around the ball, and that's one thing that is kind of surprising why he doesn't fumble more, because he has so many other people coming up hitting him. Here it looks as though they just take this ball away from him. See if we can get a good look at it. Well, there's the ball. It comes out. The hit comes, forces the ball out, and Northwestern sees it and jumps on it. Nice hit, caused the fumble, and Sanders being there to jump on top of it.
So first down for Northwestern. Anderson, he has run hard here today, and he gets 2, maybe 3 yards there, depending on the spot of the ball. Second down coming up.
Wayne, one thing I think is important is talking to Randy Walker and Kevin Wilson yesterday. They told us if we're behind 14-0, 17-0, that's not the end of the world. They almost expected the game to go like that. They want to get a touchdown here, and if they can keep this game close into the fourth quarter, that's where they feel they have the best chance to win. So I don't think they're going in there ranting and raving that they're not playing as well and out of this game.
Well, they want to get within 10 going into the fourth quarter. They've got an opportunity to do that right here. There's a good throw and catch. Anderson in stride. Nicely done. First down just inside the 14-yard line.
And that's the difference, is there's pretty good pressure on Kustok, but he stands in the pocket, and this ball he throws out to Anderson hits him in stride. When you hit your receiver in stride, you give him a chance to keep his speed as he catches the ball, and now he has the chance to pick up the first down rather than having to slow down and give the defense has a chance to make the tackle.
That may be the best pass he's thrown all day. First down to the 13-yard line. Anderson. They cut him off at the pass that time. Not a whole lot there as Eric Modoc got over from the defensive line to make a hit on the play, along with Roger Knight, the linebacker. Roger Knight, very active, a junior out of Queens Village, New York.
Really hasn't been a starter, a consistent starter. Wisconsin is so deep and so good at the linebacker position. It's nice to have a guy like Roger Knight that you can bring off of the bench and still second in the team in tackles for loss.
Second down, about 8 yards to go. Northwestern 0 for 1 in the red zone today. That was at the end of the first half. Aaron Burrell in motion. Anderson picks his way into Gadorzi at the 10. A gain of a couple of more yards, leaving a third down coming up.
Pretty good sure tackle by Gadorzi. In my opinion, the most dominant player on this defense the last couple of games. Senior linebacker has really stepped up, provided some outstanding leadership. He was hurt earlier. He's healthy now and really having a good game here today.
Third down and 7 for Northwestern.
Wouldn't be surprised here, Wayne, to see Kustok move out of the pocket, maybe use his running ability to pick up this first down if the pass isn't open.
30% on third downs for the offense today. Little pump fake. Now takes it himself. Kustok down to the 5-yard line. 2 yards short of the first down. Well, decision time here. I think you bring on the field goal unit, you need points out of this more than anything else, and that's what they're going to do.
And I think they've learned that they got to get points, something out of this. This is a nice job by Kustok. The fake wasn't there. He looks to his secondary receivers, not there. Doesn't try to force anything, though. Just tucks it down and does what I think he feels most comfortable doing, and that is running with the ball.
I think, obviously, he learned something from the last play of the first half. He learned not to force it and to take it on his own if he had to, if it's not there. 22-yard field goal attempt. Tim Long. And Northwestern has its first points of the day. Just over 11 and a half minutes to go, third quarter. The Wildcats cut the deficit to 11.
It's time to face the facts, ma'am. That battery has passed on to a better place. At Advanced Auto Parts, it's our job to help this woman find a new battery at a great price. And if she can get down here, we'll install it for her free of charge. For this is the role we play in the automotive circle of life.
For Dodge Dakota, success comes about as naturally as wearing the Magnum engine badge. It offers far and away the best power in the class. It also offers the very best in room, payload, and, of course, towing. And look what else it's pulled off. Dodge Dakota is ranked best compact pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates. Dodge Dakota. Different.
The house. You furnish the family that fills the house.
Yes.
You furnish the future for the family that fills the house. And we'll furnish everything else you need to turn your house into your home. Value City Furniture.
If you're looking for a family adventure, National Car Rental knows the best place to go is the Walt Disney World Resort. You see, National gets you to all the exciting new rides and attractions fast. For a magical adventure your family will never forget. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go with National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Walt Disney World Resort. Let's go.
Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Peggy Kaczynski, Northwestern kicking to Wisconsin. The Wildcats do get some points on the board on that last drive. Following the Ron Dayne fumble. Long with the wind to his back again. Good leverage into this kick. Nick Davis, fourth in the Big Ten and kickoff returning. Runs into stiff resistance there. That was a tough retrieval, number one. He had to go a long way to get that. And then number two, that allowed the coverage to precipitate. And Chazda Martin made the stop.
Sometimes when a team tries so hard to get their best returner the ball, you take him out of position like this. Badgers have two guys back there wanting Nick Davis to get the return. He runs all the way over, and it disrupts the momentum and the timing of the play.
Just a 12-yard return. Wisconsin begins from its 13. Would not let go on the tackle attempt as the Wildcats. That's little Kyle Sanders, a fifth-year senior out of Jackson. We're at Ryan Field in Evanston, Illinois. Along with Peggy Kaczynski and Randy Wright, this is Wayne Larrabee. It's great to have you with us. You're wondering about Ron Dayne if you've just joined us? Well, he's closing in on 6,000 yards. Take a look at the total offense numbers. Dayne 117 yards rushing today. Second down. Dayne, the stretch. Cuts it back. First down out to the 25-yard line. Randy Wright, you mentioned they could run that play in their sleep, and certainly they can. And Ron Dayne motors out just across the 25-yard line for the first down.
It's a trademark play that Barry Alvarez has built his offense around back to the first days that he was there. As you see Ron Dayne limping off, going off the field right now, getting a little bit of a breather. There's the Alvarez and Brian White right in the middle of the screen, the offensive coordinator. And when you get a huge offensive line that can come off the ball, that stretch play is so hard to defend because you just can't fight through all the bodies.
Michael Bennett in the backfield, the lone setback. Chambers in motion. Bollinger looking to go the opposite way, throwing. And he's going to take it himself. Steered out of bounds by Kevin Bentley across the 30, the 31-yard line, a gain of about 5 yards.
What a nice play by Kevin Bentley, the outside linebacker, number 2 for Northwestern. He has the tight end. Watch him on the left side of your screen. Right there. He's keeping the tight end from getting out. That's where Bollinger is looking to throw. He rides him. He rides it. Then he shreds him, and he comes over and he makes the tackle. What an outstanding play. Take a look. As you see, there's no secondary receiver for Bollinger to go to. Nice coverage downfield as well.
Kevin Bentley, outstanding linebacker, grew up. His first 13 years spent in Watts, Los Angeles, in the hood. He's come a long way from there. Not a lot of running room for Michael Bennett, as the Wildcats had it pretty well diagnosed on that version of the stretch.
Talking about Kevin Bentley, his coaches tell us he has one goal on his mind, and that is to play in the NFL. And everything he does on the football field, in the weight room, is to accomplish that goal. And he's, as a sophomore, he's well on his way.
Add to that, he does definitely want to get a Northwestern degree. That's another big situation for him. Yeah, the player in him would love to play in the NFL. But he knows that if he comes out of here with a Northwestern education and a degree, he'll go a long way in any field he chooses. That should be a first down as the reception made just beyond the first down stick. And they have not tested Chagoo, Cummings, John very often, but Chambers makes his first catch of the day.
Chambers, the wide receiver for the Badgers, that is really starting to play, maybe up to the potential that they have thought he should play all along. Take a look. It was pretty good coverage as Cummings is over there. Before he comes down, that ball comes out.
Yeah.
Now, he is out of bounds, so it still would be, the change wouldn't take effect, but nice job by Cummings and good tight coverage.
Bennett in motion. The fake reverse to Bennett didn't fool anybody. They met the great Dayne right in the doorstep and turned him away.
Wayne, this Northwestern defense has come out in this third quarter with a purpose and with an intensity, and they are playing on a lot of emotion right now. If they can continue to play with this, keep that emotion at this level, it's going to be quite a ball game.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for Wisconsin. Just under 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Salem Simon on that defensive front, sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio. in his second year as a starter.
Sometimes you play Ron Dayne, you have to prove to yourself you can tackle him, that he is human, and I think their defense got a little confidence in that first half.
Bollinger with that option. Boy, Randy, you see so much option today. Not teams running it exclusively, but running it as an accent to what they do offensively. And those that can do that have that dimension, are usually teams that move the football very well.
And it really helps you in short yardage and goal line situations. And we've seen that with both of these teams. When you play against Ron Dayne, you come after him. You've got to come up. You've got to be aggressive. When you play against the option, you got to stay at home. You've got to play more fundamental football. Those are two things that are really diverse. It's hard to ask your defense to make that change that quickly.
3rd and 9. Big play for the Northwestern defense here. Bollinger, incomplete. Dwayne Missouri was in the face of the quarterback. Forces that pass off the mark. 4th down.
A guy that's really been pretty quiet today, Dwayne Missouri, leading this team in tackles for losses with 15, just gets a bull rush, pushes through Towser, and gets right into Bollinger's face and forces the poor throw.
Bollinger heads to the sidelines. Stemke had a 10-yard punt. Led to a scoring opportunity for Northwestern his last punt. This went into the wind. Not going to be very long. Takes a very generous Northwestern hop back across the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st down for the Wildcats when we return.
Feel the sun. Feel the fog. Feel the wind. Feel the rush. The BMW Z3 Root. It satisfies more than your need for motion. It satisfies your need for emotion.
People from many different places and many different walks of life share something in common. They put their trust in American Family Insurance. Some for as long as 3 generations. It's knowing that there's always a friendly American Family agent nearby. An agent who not only understands their needs, but also is at their side when they've had a loss. American Family. All your protection under one roof.
American Family Insurance.
Melrose Lincoln Mercury is your superstore for great deals on great wheels. We specialize in great service after the sale, and we have some great deals to offer you right now. Our interactive area lets our customers look underneath their vehicle before we do the work. It's another exclusive at Melrose Lincoln Mercury. So stop in soon for great service and a good deal more. At your superstore, Melrose Lincoln Mercury, just west of Maywood Park.
Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Peggy Kaczynski, Ryan Field in Evanston, one of the best punters in the country, one of the most consistent in Wisconsin history. Kevin Stemke has had a rough 2 quarters here, both in the 2nd quarter and here in the 3rd. He's been kicking into a strong 25-mile-an-hour wind and has not gotten the kind of kicks he's used to. Kustok, lots of time. Beautiful throw. 1st down into Wisconsin territory. Teddy Johnson on the reception.
Beautiful throw. Really impressed with the way Kustok has bounced back from a questionable first half and thrown some nice passes here. Plenty of time. It just delivers a perfect strike. Really, it's pretty good coverage. The key there, he gets the ball to his receiver before Eccles, the other defensive back, can come over and make the hit. Right there, that ball's a step or two late, and that's a big collision.
And that's what he was in the first half, late with his throws. Right on time there for 25 yards to the 1st down. Anderson, a hole opens. Anderson able to blast through down to the 26-yard line on a gain of about 6 yards. Take a look at the running back comparison here today. Ron Dayne and Damian Anderson. Damian Anderson doesn't have quite the offensive line in front of him that Ron Dayne
doesn't have near the offensive line, both in terms of size, experience, and ability at this point.
Especially experience. Northwestern's offensive line at 2 deep. 7 of them are sophomores. Their starting center's a true freshman. They're doing a good job, no doubt about that. Inside handoff to the fullback Ian Miller for short yardage. Miller in high school was a tailback and thus does not deliver the kind of bone-crunching blocks you look for in your fullback, but does have some niftiness about him from his experience in high school as a tailback.
Well, one of the problems that Randy Walker faced when he took over this Northwestern program is Gary Barnett used to run so much one-back offense that they really didn't have a true fullback. And if you want to run a 2-back and feature your tailback, that fullback's got to be a blocker, and they really didn't have one in the program.
3rd and 3 from the shotgun. Sarasani in motion. Anderson got the first down to the 21-yard line. Peggy Kaczynski, what can you tell us about Ian Miller?
Well, you're talking about the fact that they're using him so much this year. It's something he's really not used to. He's the only true fullback on the team, as you guys said. Under Gary Barnett, it was a 2-back system, actually a 1-back system. Now it's a 2-back system. When he goes out of the game with a concussion or when he gets dinged up, they end up having to scramble for another fullback. They've used John Saraceni and Brian Marshall.
There's Ian Miller. Yeah, Brian Marshall has been moved over to the fullback spot. They had Mike Sherry, a tight end, of that position earlier this year. You know, when you take that first hand, often it's not the cards you would choose.
And you can only bluff so many times.
Kustok intercepted, overshot Teddy Johnson. Jamar Fletcher's 5th interception of the season. And down the sidelines he goes. Fletcher into the clear. 1 man to beat. Touchdown, Wisconsin. 93 yards.
Well, Jamar Fletcher led the nation last year as a freshman in interceptions, getting his 5th right there, and teams just continue to pick on him, and that was just a poor throw. A heck of a return after the catch, but he's not going to get many interceptions thrown to him as easily as that one was.
Those guys don't need a Halloween weekend to dress up like that. There's Jamar Fletcher, Kevin Cosgrove with the hug.
But that is Wisconsin football. When their offense can't quite do it, even with Dayne, their defense or special teams can come up with it. This time it was the defense.
Penalty marker down on the extra point try, and it is for running into the kicker, Harold Blackman. I believe it'll be the 2nd time today he's called for that infraction. The extra point was good. I would assume they might assess. They're going to just wave off the penalty, or they'll turn it down. Why kick again?
On the return team, penalties decline. Try is good.
Well, moments ago, take a look at this. Zach Kustok throwing the ball well here in this 3rd quarter until here.
Well, look how open he is. Fletcher's giving him plenty of room, and that ball is off by a good 3 or 4 yards. Fletcher, who in that position is playing a zone defense, looking right back at the quarterback, sees that ball coming his way the whole time. Excellent blocking on this return. Fletcher's got some great speed, running from one side to the other side, and he just puts a little move right there and just barely gets it into the end zone right there.
Last year, he returned 3 interceptions for touchdowns. This year, his 1st for a touchdown, and last week, what a ball game. Jamar Fletcher taking on one of the best receivers in the country, Plaxico Burress, number 4. Overthrow there, and Fletcher able to intercept. But right here, watch the break on the ball. The interception outfights Burress for the football. 2 interceptions last week. He has 5 on the season now. 3rd longest interception return for a touchdown in Wisconsin history.
And teams continue to throw his way. Now, he does play the wide side of the field, which is where the majority of the passing is going to go. but you get a defensive back that's that good, you tend to start coming up with some plays to the other side.
Kevin Cosgrove's team has converted 18 opponent turnovers into 47 points. That's good production.
Well, not only is it good production, but the fact they've got 18 turnovers came into today's game #1 in the Big Ten in turnover margin.
And again, the thing about them is that they'll tell you, we're pretty base, we're pretty solid. We don't do a lot of goofy things defensively.
It's a lot of bend, don't break. They're not going to let, Wisconsin in the last several years has always been, we're not going to let our quarterback beat us. We're going to let our offense and Ron Dayne, we're going to let our special teams, and we're going to have a bend, don't break defense and count on the opposing offense to stop themselves. And their special teams have been so good, and they've not turned the ball over. That's how they've had so much success.
So just when the Wildcats thought they were getting back into this one, the tide is turned by Jamar Fletcher and the Wisconsin defense.
Well, it's turned in this game, but I think the emergence of Brooks Bollinger will change a little bit of that approach as it has over the last 4 or 5 games, and that it's now, we're not going to let our quarterback lose it for us. They're going to start to rely on that quarterback to win some games for them.
Line drive kick, Teddy Johnson trying to chase down. Layton picking it up. Out near the 15-yard line. So it'll be first down for Northwestern from there. And we talked about it before. The Northwestern coaches wanted to stay within 10 points of the Badgers as they headed toward the fourth quarter, make it a 4-quarters game. Well, it's 21-3 right now, and I would think, Randy, you've got to get some production out of this drive, and you start back inside your 15.
Well, the other thing that they told us is exactly what you said, but also they didn't want the game to get out of hand. They didn't want their offense to lose it for them, and they had some opportunities at the end of the first half and here in the third quarter to put some points on the board, and not only have they not done that, they put points on the board for Wisconsin with the interception.
Slot to the top of your screen. Anderson blasting up the middle, and he is hammered back on the play. My goodness. Make that Ianni on the carry, and the hit made by Donnell Thompson. The ESPN game plan, exceptional day of college football offered today from the game plan. Great matchups run throughout the day. Call DirecTV, Dish Network, or your local cable operator. You'll be able to see all these games no matter where you live on ESPN's game plan.
Well, we saw that Illinois team last week as they upset Michigan at Michigan, and they really played well coming back in that second half.
Indeed they did. Now a flag thrown at a strange time here.
Illegal substitution on the offense. 12 players broke the huddle. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Can't have that.
This is where Randy Walker has feared that his inexperience and immaturity as a football team can start to really have an impact. They're behind. They just had a bad thing happen to them, and now his offense has to go out there and keep its composure.
First penalty against the Northwestern offense of the day. Second down. Kustok throwing it back against the grain. A little circle route run by Derek Thompson, and he takes a punishing hit, gain of a couple of yards.
Little wide receiver screen. Sometimes this thing can set up too quickly, and you don't give the defense a chance to react. As quickly as this ball is thrown, you see the defensive lineman, Wendell Bryant, 77. He's not even in the backfield enough. You throw that ball too quickly, he recovers.
Third down for Northwestern. Take a look at this on 3rd and long. Matter of fact, was the only first down on 3rd down gained by Northwestern on 3rd and 1 calls, 3 of them.
But yet that 3rd and long, only 3 attempts. They've done a pretty good job of keeping it in 3rd and short.
Good throw and catch. The tight end, Jay Tant, 5th-year senior out of Kettering, Ohio, has a first down up across the 25-yard line, 18-yard gain.
And he really may be their best offensive player along with Damian Anderson. Here, Kustok gets good time. Jay Tant runs a nice route and hauls it in. One of the problems Northwestern has had is because their protection has been so poor throughout the year, they've had to keep Jay Tant in from the tight end spot to help block, and that takes away maybe your best guy.
First down near the 30. Kustok. Penalty marker is down. Ianni on the carry off the toss. Penalty marker down in the area. I would think of offensive holding, perhaps.
Tell you what, there were a lot of white jerseys around there for it to be a hold. It wasn't a very good holding.
No. If you're going to hold, make sure you get your man out of the picture.
You know how we saw Casey Robach hold before?
Yeah,
that was a good hold.
You're going to get the penalty, get your money's worth. Kustok has played much better at quarterback in the second half for Northwestern, albeit, though, the last series ended on the costly interception.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Now, a couple of penalties have kind of bogged this drive down a little bit. Take a look at the penalty situation. Very cleanly played game between these two teams who became big rivals in the late 90s when Northwestern was on its way to a couple of Big Ten championships and Wisconsin was nipping at the heels. They played some tight ball games both at Camp Randall and here.
Had some great games.
Sarasani, the man in motion. And might be a false start here.
I don't think people in Wisconsin will ever forget the fumble at the end of the game that allowed Northwestern to come back in there and win that game up in Madison. And of course, just
the snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And of course, just the reverse happens the next year when Northwestern fumbled here and Wisconsin came back. Wayne, we just showed the graphic. This is the third penalty against Northwestern, and all three of them have happened in this drive when their offense had themselves back in the game before they threw the interception. I think they've lost a little of their poise and composure. They need to regain that.
Not a whole lot there. Ianni on the carry. Let's go back to Mike Gleason to the studio.
Well, Wayne, the Buckeyes looking for win number 6. Now, keep in mind they have to have 7, of course. They add some breathing room against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Jonathan Wells right up the middle. That's his second touchdown of the afternoon. That made it 28-8. The Hawkeyes have added a field goal. And an update on that Purdue-Minnesota ball game. It's now Purdue 19, the Gophers 7, third quarter. Wayne?
Thank you very much, Mike. Second down and long here for Northwestern. Kustok. Teddy Johnson nearly intercepted by Tamar Fletcher. My goodness, he made a great break on that play and almost picked it off.
Well, you see Wisconsin sitting back in this zone, and their defensive backs are looking at the quarterback the whole way. They're reading the quarterback quicker than the receivers are, and you don't see Jamar Fletcher drop many more or many possible interceptions like that one.
Is that because Kustok's not looking off?
I think defense. I think number one, it's because he's not looking off. But number two, Northwestern has yet to throw the ball deep. And when you don't even run it off deep or give the threat of it, the defensive backs can sit there a little more knowing that's not a concern, and they're really starting to jump on these routes.
They'll have to go deep to get a first down here, and penalty markers down. It was 3rd and 22. It may be more than that when they resume.
Well, Randy Walker told us that during their bye week, he thought his team really needed to focus.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
His team needed to focus on playing football. They tackled. They went after each other. They went one-on-one. Very seldom does his team talk about the opponent. They focus on what do we need to do to get better. How do we play? I said, I'm not crazy. I didn't have him tackle Damian Anderson. I didn't have him hit my quarterback. But everybody else with one-on-ones, we got better.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. 3rd and 27. Thompson paid a heavy price to lose 3 yards on the play. Great hit by the linebacker, Roger Knight.
What you can see now is justified by that series. This Badger defense has really just put its heels back, and they are coming after you. Wide receiver screen, it didn't work. The previous time the Badgers ran it, this time Roger Knight doing a nice job making the play.
Nick Davis lets this one go. And Ianni downs it at the 40. The Badgers will take over at their 40-yard line when we resume.
This man here has just heard a funny noise. Not ha-ha funny, but click-click funny. Now, he thinks he knows what's wrong, but he's not sure. It's our job at Advanced Auto Parts to help him figure out what's wrong, to get him the parts he needs, and to turn that frown upside down.
Hey, Michael, John here. I'm hanging out, having a beer. How come you don't come down? Man, I'm doing the same thing as you. Why don't you come over here? I mean, the Miller Lite is ice cold and so smooth. Oh, come on, man. From where I'm sitting, the Miller Lite tastes great. Yeah, but the women are prettier over here. Trust me on this. I find that very hard to believe.
And you guys call yourselves detectives.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
You know, we're kind of off duty right now. You know.
Hi.
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 As the new semester dawns, it dawns on you you'll need textbooks. Well, yeah, unfortunately, you are not alone. But this is college. There are no lines in college. College is for thinking. You realize eFollett, the world's largest provider of new and used college textbooks, is standing by, just waiting to take your order and deliver it to your door. People, get out of line. eFollett.com. New and used college textbooks.
Well, it is the bewitching weekend. And I think Northwestern's been bewitched in the last few minutes here of this football game. How about this? Heisman Trophy for Ron Dayne may happen. He certainly is back in the race as he gets ready to go to work. 13 yards rushing in the third quarter is all for Dayne thus far. And he gets another 6 yards right there. Napoleon Harris, Kevin Bentley. Bentley's been in on more than a dozen tackles here today, I would guess.
He's been around the ball a lot, whether he's been in on the tackle or around it, caused it, whatever. He is a player that flies around, as is Napoleon Harris right there, number 8. And Billy Silva, the linebackers, 3 sophomores. The strength of this team, expect a lot of big plays from them in their career here.
2nd and 3. Dayne, a little spin move in traffic, gets another couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and a yard to go coming up. Napoleon Harris in the middle of that. Dwayne Missouri in the bottom of the pile.
Brian White, the offensive coordinator for the Badgers, told us when he decided as a freshman, when Ron Dayne was a freshman, to start him, it was the 5th or 6th game of the year. Carl McCullough, who was the back at the time, came in and said, well, why now? And Brian White said, you know, the best way I can tell you is if it were 4th down and 1, and somebody held a gun to my head, said pick it up, I'd want Ron Dayne carrying the ball.
It is 3rd and 1. Quarterback keeper. Northwestern's seen this a couple of times. There are penalty markers down on the play. Wondering if maybe for a false start. Bollinger's picked up a couple of first downs on quarterback keepers. We'll wait till they unravel and then sort things out. I don't know if they gave him the first. They did give him a first down, pending the outcome of that flag that I saw thrown on the far side.
It was close with Bollinger's run. Now the offsides here against Northwestern is going to give them defense. 5-yard penalty. Result of the penalty, first down.
Okay.
Clearly you take the penalty because it gives you the 5 yards versus the 2 feet that Bollinger picked up, even if that had been the first down. Back with Brian White, when he's talking about Ron Dayne, he said, if somebody held a gun to my head, told me I could take any back in the country to get 1 yard on 4th down, it'd be Ron Dayne. That's pretty good confidence.
Hopefully no one will hold a gun to his head. 4th quarter coming up. We turn the page at Halloween weekend in Evanston, Wisconsin on top 21-3.
It's the beat of a different drummer. Dodge Intrepid. Well-equipped 19950.
Why are business travelers choosing Sleep Inn? The well-lit grounds, the electronic locks, the walk-in showers, complimentary breakfast. Because it's a place that understands the needs of the business traveler. It's all those things. Plus the service.
Hey, knock it off.
Is incredible. If you're traveling on business, stay at Sleep Inn, in a class by itself.
Melrose Lincoln Mercury is your superstore for great deals on great wheels. We have a huge selection of new and used cars that changes every day. And we're ready to make you a deal you won't believe. I want to put you in that new car or truck you've been thinking and dreaming about. So stop in soon for great service and a good deal more at Melrose Lincoln Mercury on North Avenue, just west of Maywood Park.
Not much is expected of Cade McNown, but while he is inspiring the Bears to many Super Bowls, maybe he could do the John Hancock's windows, repaint Navy Pier, clean Buckingham Fountain, and sub for Oprah 2 days a week. Who knows what this guy can do? All we know is what he is meant to do, what the Bears insist he can do, what no new Bear has ever been asked to do. Not Sayers, not Peyton, not Ditka.
You offer specialty training for high-performance automotive technicians. Brought to you by the one and only Hot Rod Magazine. Call 1-800-884-4262 to enroll in Hot Rod U. Only available at Universal Technical Institute.
On a beautiful afternoon in Evanston, Wisconsin has built its lead steadily with 14 in the first, 7 more in the third. And they're in control of this ball game as they take over first down. Start of the fourth quarter from the 46 of Northwestern. Ron Dayne going wide. Napoleon Harris forced the play to the outside and allowed the black shirts to flow to the football. We're on the shores of Lake Michigan. Ryan Field in Evanston. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Peggy Kaczynski. Wisconsin leading in this football game, and take a look at the numbers. And those 2 turnovers by Northwestern happened deep in Wisconsin territory and cost Northwestern scores.
Well, not only did it cost Northwestern a score on the second one, but it gave Wisconsin the scores. Fletcher returned it all the way for a touchdown. Huge turnaround.
A loss of 2 on the previous play. 2nd and 12. Play action to Dayne. Bollinger on the roll. Nice throw and catch. First down inside the 20. Chambers the reception. And the tackle made by Rashad Morton. They mark it to the 19. 29-yard gain. Biggest pass play of the day for Wisconsin.
What a nice throw by Bollinger. After the little fake here, rolling to his left. Watch how he gets his shoulder squared. Turns that left shoulder upfield so he can put a little juice on the ball and throws it and hits Chambers right in stride.
Well, you're talking about Darrell Bevell, who was quarterback here for a long time. Samuel, who did a good job with this offense. This kid has the potential, according to the Wisconsin people, to be much better than those 2 quarterbacks who ran the offense with some success at Wisconsin. And Randy, as Ron Dayne picks up another 6-7 yards there, I think you're right. In the future, maybe not this year, but they'll be expecting Brooks Bollinger maybe to carry a little bit more of the load. The quarterback will be asked to make more plays next year in the future here at Wisconsin when Ron Dayne moves on.
Well, and that's the key. He is gaining wonderful experience while they're winning. A lot of times you have a quarterback that gains experience and you have to pay the price because you suffer through it. He's getting the experience and they're still winning, and next year the load's going to fall on his shoulders as Dayne graduates.
Dayne picking his way. Just short of the 10-yard line, just short of a first down. Peggy?
Well, it's interesting. Ron Dayne is a Heisman hopeful, but he's still fighting for respect. Just 2 weeks ago, one of the national sports magazines listed him as one of the top 10 disappointments in college football. I don't know if it's motivated him or not, but because of this, now the athletic department is sending out these. And these are postcards that go out to all of the media across the country, reminding them of the countdown to the record.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are upset with some of the things that have been written nationally about Ron Dayne.
And one thing you can count on with Ron Dayne is he's not going to promote himself. As much a team player as anybody on this team.
Dayne piles forward for the first down just inside the 9-yard line. He's a rather soft-spoken individual. did a poster a couple of years ago. The Great Dane had a Great Dane next to him, and a really neat poster that they did up in Madison. And, you know, again, but as you said, not a self-promoter type of kid.
As much a team player as anybody. Came back for a senior year this year. Brian White has said and really feels he is good for college football. He did the right things. He's doing the right things, and they're going to do what they can to do the right things with him.
First and goal, Dane. Inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Ron Dane just picking his way through that Northwestern defense, which now has to be showing some wear and tear. They've been on the field a lot here in the second half. Rashad Morton made the stop on that play.
And this is where that huge offensive line, as big as they are, over 300 pounds, 3 of them, really start to wear on that defensive line. And as a defensive player, you just get tired of hitting a 260-pound back with the strength that Ron Dane has.
Double tights on the line as if they don't have enough big people to this offense right now. And here comes Ron Dane. Touchdown! Five-yard touchdown run for Ron Dane.
Those plays sometimes look so slow to develop, you don't think they're getting any positive yardage. But the whole time, the white jerseys are moving the black jerseys backwards, and the next thing you know, Ron Dane's in the end zone.
66th career touchdown ties the Big Ten record, and yes, accolades all the way around. Well, there's no doubt. He's back in the mix for the Heisman, that's for sure. Pisetsky's extra point. And Wisconsin extends its advantage with 11:33 left to go in the game. The Badgers by 25 as Ron Dane, another record-setting touchdown.
BMW 3 Series Coupe.
This is big. $200 million big. Value City just bought the entire inventory of Starter. You know, the #1 brand of authentic team sports apparel. So, if you don't get it here, you just don't get it. Look at this, our biggest deal ever. You get prices so low, we can't say the teams or the leagues. How's that for starters? Hey, it's your money. Get more for it.
This dog can't tell the difference between a radiator hose and a bone. Other dogs, perhaps, but not this one. That's why at Advance Auto Parts, it's our job to carry over 1 million parts. So we'll always have the parts you need, just in case you run into this dog. Or one like him.
The new BMW 3 Series Coupe.
So it's like 6:30. He comes in and we're in the finals. I figured we'd be there all night, but...
Finally, you can use your cell phone the way you really need to.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Free nights, free weekends,
Definitely borrow these.
200 minutes, a free digital phone. And best of all,
We are.
Ameritech Cellular's reliable wireless network.
Hey, thanks for walking me home.
Call 1-800-MOBILE-1. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Break for Ron Dane, who has led Wisconsin into the end zone for the second time today. Look at the scoring drive. 60 yards, just 9 plays. Keep track of Ron Dane, 147 rushing yards now for the Great Dane. Kick off into the end zone, and Northwestern will take it out of the 20-yard line. Dane has tied Anthony Thompson, as we showed you a moment ago, with 68 career touchdowns in Big Ten play. Take a look at it. one more time.
Well, no running play like this is going to work without the blocking. Take a look at his fullback, number 41, Chad Coons. Watch him take two guys out. Right there he takes on Bentley. As Bentley goes down, he picks up, comes over, and blocks Cummings John and gets Dane into the end zone. They don't ask the fullback here to carry the ball much, but he's a player in the passing game and a huge player as a blocker in the running game.
There's a look at Chad Coons right there. He's come on and been a key player ahead of Ron Dane. Thompson circle routes to a first down out near the 31-yard line. Northwestern now going into the wind here in this fourth quarter of play. Well, you want records? Ron Dane's got records, all kinds of them. As we mentioned, the scoring record just behind Thompson in points, but has tied him for touchdowns. 17 TDs this year. Wow, that's a career for most guys. Most guys are proud of.
That's a career for a quarterback passing, much less a running back running.
Teddy Johnson, nice catch, and Jamar Fletcher right there with the coverage. Boy, he doesn't miss a whole lot out there, does he?
No, he is one that this offense really needs to get into the mix early and often. He's really the only deep threat that the Wildcats have. He missed a couple of practices earlier in the season. He had some academic troubles and missed 2-a-days. Then he had shin sprints and missed 3 weeks there. And it was about the middle of the season that he finally came back and started getting into his rhythm. And he's one that was sorely missed.
2nd and 6. Kustok, lots of time on his own. Ushered to the chalk marks by Chris Dorsey in rather rude fashion in front of the Wisconsin bench. They're short of the first down gain of 2.
Kustok that time had an open receiver down the field, but when things aren't necessarily going your way, you lose a little confidence and you just can't quite pull the trigger. This time, once the protection breaks down, he's running for his life right there, and with Chris Dorsey chasing him, I would be too.
Yeah, exactly. Third down now for Northwestern, third in a little bit more than 3. Kustok to the sidelines. Nice catch made by Derek Thompson right on the first down marker, or very close to it. They may want a measurement here.
Good play by Bobby Myers, the strong safety, coming over and forcing Kustok to throw this ball further outside. If Myers isn't there, Thompson can make the catch easily for the first down. Turned it into what had to be an outstanding play by Thompson.
And they did not need a measurement. It's a first down just across the Northwestern 41-yard line. Almost 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Wisconsin, 11th ranked team in the nation, 9th in the BCS poll, or I should say the BCS lineup. To the outside, Ianni gets the call. I'll make that Anderson the ball carrier. Damian Anderson got the call. Anderson missed the last series, is back for this one. Peggy Kaczynski on the sidelines. What do you have for us?
Well, it may look bleak right now for Northwestern, but the future looks pretty good. They returned 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line, and they have 3 high school seniors who are rated super prospects, have all committed to Northwestern next year. They also get Notre Dame transfer Jeff Roll.
Randy Walker's going to do a good job here. There's no doubt about that. 2nd down. About 8 yards to go. Kustok, the short drop, and the quick throw to the side. You know, Northwestern's coverage has been pretty good on these passes to the sidelines, and in that regard, Randy, it makes it a difficult throw for the quarterback. Bobby Myers that time forced the pass a little bit farther to the outside with his coverage.
Well, Wisconsin has seen this happening throughout this game. They've got a feel for what Northwestern is trying to do. Northwestern hasn't changed it up, and Wisconsin is just committed to stopping that right now.
3rd down here, about 8 yards to go.
Peggy brought up the fact Northwestern's a young team, only 1 starting senior of their 22, and that's tight end Jay Tant.
On the shotgun, the fake to Anderson. Kustok under pressure. Jay Tant can't quite make the reach for that one. Catch the early season college basketball fireworks at Chicago's United Center when the Fighting Illini take on the Duke Blue Devils in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. The action comes your way Tuesday, November 29th at 8 p.m. Central Time. Call the United Center box office or Ticketmaster for tickets and more information. Illinois and Duke, it's going to be a blast. United Center number 312-455-4500. Ticketmaster 312-559-1212. Confirmation time, J.J. Standring hangs it high. Nick Davis just inside the 10. Gets it out to about the 22-yard line, where it'll be first down from there for Wisconsin. 47-yard punt, 13-yard return, 9.5 to go. Badgers in front.
You know, Kenny and I never compare statistics. Our Super Bowl. That way we can drink our Miller Lights without arguing. Right, Mr. Fewer career touchdown passes than me?
Right, Mr. Never Been to the Big One.
We only talk about why Miller Lite tastes great.
It's the choice hops.
No, Snake. Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth. So let's not fight.
Yeah, you're right. Let's be friends.
Table ready for Mr. I don't have as many passing yards as Stan Fout?
Hey, that's you.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
Look at the glare on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about hair loss? Well, now there are effective treatments for men's hair loss.
You like a toupee, sir? Excuse me? Would you like some pate? No, thank you.
Call 1-888-4MERC9 to learn more. And about a special money-saving offer, or call your doctor to discover which one is best for you. Millions of men have already started using them, so what are you waiting for?
They'll never go back.
Oh, yeah.
Call 1-888-4MERC9 to find out more, and about a special money-saving offer.
Doesn't look good, does it?
Stop just thinking about it. Call today.
It's only halftime.
Merck, helping make hair loss history.
Yeah.
Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Peggy Kaczynski, and Bucky Badger in Evanston. He's been happy the last couple of weeks, hasn't he?
I don't know what he's on, but man, it works.
Bollinger rolling. Oh, nice catch by Nick Davis. That was well done. That pass thrown to his back hip. A tough catch. He's running away from the ball, and he showed good hands to make the reception at a first down.
Nick Davis coming into this season wasn't expected to be as big a play part of the offense. Special teams, you bet. But he really has turned into the go-to guy in the big play receiver. Nice job catching that ball, and he's got such quick feet, he makes you miss a lot. And as he has been productive, 19 yards, over 19 yards per average reception, a lot of big plays.
Oh, yeah! Dane and Bollinger collide. That was the first problem, and then Ron Dane had a couple of Wildcats clinging on to bring him down just across the 35. Gain of maybe a yard on that play.
Looked like Bollinger got tripped up coming away from the center, and as he did, tried to scoot over the fullback, and that forced him to lose his footing and balance and runs right into Ron Dane. It's not bad enough you get hit by the defensive players all day. When your quarterback's hitting you, that's a little bit too much.
Napoleon Harris, we talked about the leading tackler, Kevin Bentley. The second leading tackler in the Big Ten is also on this Northwestern defense, Napoleon Harris. Now, you can interpret that a couple of ways. Number one, the defense is on the field a lot here, isn't it?
On the field a lot, and it also tells you how many times teams are running the ball at Northwestern.
Yep. Ron Dane runs it there for maybe 6 yards. Dane up over 160 yards rushing here today. Remember, we told you he needed to, coming into today's game, average 161 yards per game rushing in Wisconsin's last 3 games to break the all-time rushing record.
And this is the point in a game where in the past sometimes Ron Dane hasn't been in there. Under 8 minutes to go, the game well in hand, 28-3. How long do you leave Ron Dane in there? I know against Indiana he was pulled out at halftime. Didn't play the second half. Now we're seeing him play into the fourth quarter.
Bollinger's pass tipped and intercepted. Shagoo Cummings-John with the interception. Penalty marker thrown late on the play, on the tackle, maybe for a face mask. Cummings-John with his first interception of the season.
Bellinger having only thrown 1 interception this season and none in his 4 starts, this being the first one as a starting quarterback, throws the ball a little bit behind his receiver, and more times than not, when that ball gets tipped up in the air, it's going to get intercepted.
Watch it here. There's a pass breakup for Cummings John, who leads the Big Ten in that category, and the interception for Chagoo Cummings John. Northwestern gets the football in Badger territory when we resume with 7:36 to go in the football game. And we'll be back to Evanston after these messages.
Ready for this? Kick Old Man winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
All I do is dream of you the whole night through. With the dawn I still go on and dream of you. You're every thought, you're everything, you're every song I ever sing.
For those who must design trucks to compete with Dodge Ram, there is no rest.
All I do is dream of
We mill wheat into flour, process and refine oilseeds in Mexico, produce sweeteners from corn in the U.S., Brazil, and Europe.
You see this?
And operate 19 meat processing facilities in North America.
Yep. And look what they did with it.
Where these days, there's some good news for everyone. Cargill. It's not just what we do, it's how we do it.
Are you ready for this? Kick Old Man winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
There's Ron Dane. It's another break on the bench. Cool drink. This guy had lunch, I think, at Mustard's Last Stand.
Too many times.
Indeed. What a great place that is. One of the classic lunch places in the Big Ten. Mustard's Last Stand, right across the parking lot here at Ryan Field. Northwestern an opportunity at the 30-yard line. Anderson out of the shotgun on the run for about 2 or 3 yards. Take a look at Chagoo Cummings John.
Does a nice job. Ball's thrown behind Chris Chambers, and Cummings John comes up with the interception. Now, these defensive backs do, and there you see the face mask right there at the end. These defensive backs do a great job breaking up passes, but they don't have any interceptions. Jerry Brown told us they got horrible hands. They got great instinct, break up balls, horrible hands. That's why that's only their 4th interception this year.
Catch made there by Derek Thompson. And let's see, do they have a first down out of that? I don't think so, but the officials are stopping the clock, and they may take a look. It all depends on the spot of the ball.
When some players go down, other players get a chance to step up, and Derek Thompson is a wide receiver for these Wildcats that has stepped up. I think he can and will continue to improve.
They're bringing the chains in, and from where they have it spotted, they give him a pretty generous spot, so he might have that first down. Thompson out of Harvey, Illinois. And it's a first down. First down for Northwestern. Well, we mentioned the Bowl Championship Series. Let's take a look at the standings right now. Florida State over Penn State. Virginia Tech right there at number 3. Then Tennessee, the defending champs. Kansas State in the mix as well. Little swing pass to Anderson. Stiff arms his way past Dorsey. Oh, you don't see that very often.
You don't see, as you said, Chris Godorsky missing many tackles, but the key is you get the ball to Anderson quickly enough to where he has time to catch it, gather his thoughts, and then can put on a move and break a tackle. He gets the ball here, he can stop, push him by with his left arm. That's the difference with Kustok in the second half that we didn't see in the first.
Yeah, exactly. He's been a much improved quarterback in the second half. 12-yard gain there, 1st and goal, just inside the 9. Kustok options to Anderson, trying to get around the end. Nice cutback to the end zone. Touchdown! Excellent run and read by Damian Anderson. situation. He took that football deep in the backfield, and he had some Badgers with him that he had to beat.
Don't see many option plays out of the shotgun. See, we keep an eye on 62, the center. They're true freshmen. Watch him flash in front of your screen right there. He's been blocking that guy since he snapped the ball. He takes him from the center of the field, runs him off the field of play. Now, this guy is a true freshman and one that their coaches say is the best offensive lineman they have, and he is going to be outstanding.
Someday he may be the best offensive lineman in the Big Ten. You never know.
And that day may not be long in coming.
Northwestern going for 2 here. Motion from Teddy Johnson. Kustok fakes the handoff. Kustok to the end zone and score. On the back line of the end zone, Aaron Burrell. So the 2-point conversion works. That time, Kustok did a good job of drawing the defense to him, and his receiver popped open on the back line. But Damian Anderson's 8-yard touchdown scamper, 25 carries, 102 yards.
Every great morning is brought to you by Value City Furniture, the only place where you'll find the world's best names in premium mattresses at the guaranteed lowest prices. Value City Furniture, you just can't do any better.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Melrose Lincoln Mercury is your superstore for great deals on great wheels. We specialize in great service after the sale, and we have some great deals to offer you right now. Our interactive area lets our customers look underneath their vehicle before we do the work. It's another exclusive at Melrose Lincoln Mercury. So stop in soon for great service and a good deal more. At your superstore, Melrose Lincoln Mercury, just west of Maywood Park.
Well, an opportunity for the home fans to dance in the streets of Evanston, so to speak. The Wildcats' first touchdown of the game. Damian Anderson's 8-yard run, and that set up the 2-point conversion right here. Ready?
Kustok does a real nice job of getting to the outside, and as he fakes the run, he keeps his presence about him, does a nice job throwing the ball. That ball got tipped right there. Fortunately for the Wildcats, it didn't change its direction, and Burrell could still catch that. Nice play.
There's the scoring drive off the interception by Shagu Cummings-John. Just 30 yards in 4 plays.
Northwestern looks like they're possibly setting up here for an onside attempt.
Why not? Given the game situation, just under 7 minutes to go. In the deficit at 17 points. The wind did kick it onside, but there has been a pretty stiff breeze blowing through this stadium here today. Some of the other scores, Michigan, Indiana tied at 17 at Indiana. Going to the 4th. Purdue extends its advantage over Minnesota.
Boy, have they had some shootouts the last several years.
Yes, they have. And I believe Fletcher got it for Wisconsin, able to gather it in. They had the all-hands team up front for the Badgers, and Jamar Fletcher able to rein it in. We showed you the top 5 of the BCS standings. Let's take a look at the second 5. Florida, dangerously close. Nebraska lost last week to Texas. That hurt their chances big time. Now Georgia Tech. Wisconsin in at number 9, and there is Texas at number 10.
Pretty close there at the end, and that Texas-Nebraska, that could be a rematch if things go as some people hope in the Big 12 championship.
Indeed. Mac Brown down there at Texas doing quite a job. First down, Wisconsin, 43-yard line of Northwestern, and the Great Dane. Into heavy traffic as he motors to the 39, a gain of 4.
And Wayne, this is the best scenario for Ron Dane. The game is still relatively, not totally out of hand. Pretty comfortable if you're a Badger fan. He's got 157 yards, as you can see, 52 more to get to 6,000. The game's not way out of hand where he's on the bench. Yet Wisconsin wants to run the clock out, so they're going to give him the ball, and this is where he can add those yards on, which may come into play at the end of the season as he chases Ricky Williams.
I thought he was over 160, but he had a couple of losses. Some negative carries. And now he's nearing that 161 mark we spoke of earlier. There's the double dog blitz. And the penalty markers are down to the play. Looked like Jerry Brown's defense is coming up with what they call the double dog check. And that's a couple of linebackers, Randy, moving into the slots. And looked like Bentley and Harris were ready to menace on that play.
A couple of them got there a little quicker than they should have as they were offsides. And Northwestern knowing Wisconsin is going to try and run the ball, trying to come after them as much as they can and disrupt that blocking up front.
Just under 6 minutes to go in this one as Dennis Lipsky gets things straightened out. Here he is.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
It'll be second and short. Boy, there's a huge contingent of Badger fans on hand for this game here today. And it looked like a sellout. It looked like every seat in the house was filled. Now, a lot of the Northwestern fans have left, but there are a lot of Badger people, a lot of red in this stadium here today. Second down and short. Ron Dayne, a yard or two. It looked like the penetration on the defensive line got to him initially, and that was Javier Collins who may have gotten his ankle on the play. And Ron getting up limping once again. He's been playing on a bad ankle here most of this second half. We're at Ryan Field in Evanston, Illinois. And along with Peggy Kaczynski, Randy Wright, I'm Wayne Larrivee. And the Outback Steakhouse, outstanding back of the game. Well, it's going to be Jamar Fletcher with the interception return for the touchdown that really turned the tide once and for all in this football game in the second half.
And that's a good point that you brought up. It turned the tide with Northwestern possibly going in for a score that could have made this game very close. He turns it, takes it 93 yards the other way, and puts Wisconsin comfortably ahead 21-3. The only thing Jamar Fletcher really lacks is the size. He's got everything else to be an outstanding, great, big play cornerback. He's only 5'10", though, 170 pounds. Other than that, excellent everything else.
Well, you know, Fletcher's fourth touchdown return off an interception in his career ties the Big Ten record set by Tim Wilbur of Indiana back in 1978 through 82. That's 4 career interception returns for touchdowns for Jamar Fletcher. And of course, you talk about records. Yeah, he's a sophomore. He had 3 of them last year returned for touchdowns. Talk about records, and there is the definitive. You look it up in the dictionary, in the Big Ten dictionary, look up the word record. It's a color picture of Ron Dayne. He's all over it. Third and short.
Not yet either.
They almost got a freebie, but Brooks Bollinger takes it over on the keeper. And Northwestern dangerously close to being in the neutral zone again.
Well, they're just coming after him, trying to do all different kinds of things, knowing Wisconsin is going to run the ball. If Wisconsin had an interest in scoring another touchdown rather than running out of the clock, or if that was their main interest in scoring another touchdown, play action fake right here I think would work wonderfully for them. I think they want to give Dayne the ball, get him some carries, get him some yards, and run the clock out.
He's had up over 33 carries here today. Manelli, the tight end, in motion. Blitz is coming. They open up a hole anyway for Ron Dayne. Dayne inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. Kyle Sander reacting on the play. Mike Gleason, what do you have for us?
Well, Wayne, get a load of this. Michigan, Indiana, Antoine Randall L. threw the equalizer, and then they came back. They recovered a fumble on the kickoff. Here's Randall L. scrambling. He finds Dorsey in the back of the end zone. Indiana 24, Michigan 17, 11:55 to go in the 4th, Wayne.
Wow, what has happened to the Michigan Wolverines? You know, Randall L., he came into the game with 24 touchdowns, 12 rushing, 12 throwing. How do you defend a guy like that?
Well, and he really is their only playmaker on offense, but he can beat you so many different ways, not only running, but it's the way he runs. As he drops back to pass, he can run. Again, you can't blitz him because if he beats you with the blitz, then you give up the big play. So when you only rush forward, you give him plenty of time to throw, and he throws the ball well enough to beat you that way, too.
Jamar Fletcher, one of our featured players in this game. What a 2 weeks he's had. He took on Plaxico Burress, All-American candidate at Michigan State, a wide receiver, held him to a measly 5 catches, 53 yards, insignificant numbers in that ball game last week.
We asked Kevin Cosgrove what he likes best about Fletcher. He says he's a great competitor and he's got a great deal of confidence. And I asked him, has that confidence grown with his success? He said, no, he was that confident from day one.
Bollinger back to throw. A little touch pass into the end zone. Chambers, touchdown! Great concentration by Chris Chambers, who came down with the ball, tied up by Shagoo Cummings-John.
Well, we just talked about the fact Northwestern piling people up, committed to stopping the run. Wisconsin could throw deep and get behind him, and Chambers does a nice job watching that ball all the way into his hand. Nice pass by Bollinger to put some air underneath it and let Chambers adjust it.
Yeah, the key there, you got to put some air under that fade, don't you?
If you put some air under a pass, when your receiver is wide open like that, it doesn't have to be a perfect pass. You give your receiver a chance to adjust to a ball not as well thrown, and it still can be a completion as that one was.
Kosetsky for the point after. And 35-11, Wisconsin extends. Beautiful touch pass from the redshirt freshman Brooks Bollinger. And take a look at the reception in the end zone by Chambers. Watched it all the way, and those big hands wrapped around the football, and coverage not bad on that play. It was a good throw and an excellent catch.
And Chris Chambers is one, we talked a little bit earlier about the fact he has really started to play up to the potential that they thought he should. Earlier this season, he had a broken bone in his hand, and as he came back, had some easy passes that he dropped and was a little tentative. It really wasn't playing with the same intensity that they felt he should.
Randy, the big drop was early in the ball game against Michigan in the end zone, wide open, dropped the pass, and that's the one that everybody talked about for weeks. But this kid has rebounded from that piece of adversity, as you mentioned, and as he's gotten healthier, his confidence has grown, and he's become a bona fide threat for Wisconsin.
Well, Brian White likes to pick a defining moment in every player's career, and he thinks that Chris Chambers had it against Minnesota a couple of weeks ago, made a great catch in between 2 defenders, kept the drive going for the Badgers. They went on to win that game, and since then, he's been a different player.
Kosetsky trying to kick off here. There's Chambers on the sidelines. Boy, I tell you, he looks bigger than he lists. He is listed at 5, or I should say at 6'1". He looks more like 6'2", 6'3", doesn't he?
He's very solid. He's got huge pads. You put those big pads on wide receivers, and the reason I think he's got those big pads is because these wide receivers block so much.
They do, yep.
Hard to get your hands above your head with big pads, but it's a lot safer when you're blocking.
Teddy Johnson's too deep to return this one. Take a look at the update. Let's see what the Wolverines are doing here. Boy, it's still tied with Indiana, 4th quarter. Lloyd Carr has got to be shaking his head. The last 3 weeks for them have been just, well, you know, it started at Michigan State. They went in there undefeated and got trounced.
And we covered Michigan last week when we did that game. We talked to Lloyd Carr. We talked amongst ourselves, and I think the point you brought up was dead accurate. They just got mentally worn out. Their schedule has been so tough week after week. It's just hard to play with that intensity every week.
Brain Trust, Randy Walker and Kevin Wilson on the sidelines for Northwestern. Snap almost over the head of the quarterback. And a quick handoff and a short gain of a couple of yards right here to the middle of the defense. And that was Louis Ianni on the carry. Let's take a look at the Value City big play of the game. And here it is right here. This is the interception at the end of the first half. Northwestern on the drive, looking for its first points. An ill-advised throw there by Zach Kustok, and the interception made. And that turned away Northwestern with no points at halftime. Meanwhile, the Wildcats on a pass play here pick up a first down to the 34-yard line. They're going without a huddle. A little over 4 minutes to go in the game. Kustok to the flat. Louis Ianni hit one-on-one by Joey Bozay. Nice tackle of the open field by the cornerback. Gain of barely a yard. So Wisconsin continues its late season march to what the Badgers hope will be a Big Ten title. Kustok to the freshman Ianni. Dorsey got enough of them to bring him down after a gain of about 3 yards. And Randy, it'll be interesting to see how the final weeks of the conference season unfold. Penn State is undefeated, and they do not play Wisconsin.
No, they're undefeated. Wisconsin has a Big Ten loss as well as a non-conference loss. And not having played each other in the past, that's probably been a benefit for the Badgers. Last year, you see a heck of a hit right there by Jason Doring on Kustok right as he's going out of bounds. In the past, last year, Wisconsin didn't play Ohio State, an outstanding Ohio State team. This year, they don't play Penn State. Some people think that's an advantage for Penn State, is Penn State doesn't really match up well with Wisconsin. We take a look at this hit right at the end of the play, clearly in bounds. Why he didn't go out of bounds, I don't know.
Clearly in bounds, though, is the key, and that's why a flag wasn't thrown. They were asking for one on the Northwestern sidelines, but no, that was a clean hit.
Clean hit, tough hit.
A safety's dream, Jason Doring. Wow.
Clean hit, quarterback coming up, saw Doring coming at him, and just took the hit, didn't go out of bounds, and you don't last long when you make those kinds of decisions.
Oh, man. What do we have here?
On the defense, penalties to decline.
When we go back to the what we were talking about with Penn State, Wisconsin, they don't play each other, but Penn State would have to lose 2 conference games to send Wisconsin to the Rose Bowl if Wisconsin won the rest of theirs, because not playing each other, if they both had a loss, then what would happen is they'd go to overall record, and Penn State would have a better overall record.
After the 14-yard scamper by Zach Kustok, Nick Kreinbrink, following the hit by Jason Doring, now is in the game at quarterback for the Wildcats. Ianni. Louis Ianni is a true freshman from Woodbury, Minnesota. All-state selection up in Minnesota. His school's career rushing leader with 3,504 yards and 47 touchdowns. There is Nick Kreinbrink. Started the season at quarterback, and then when Kustok became eligible, eventually moved to the bench. Kreinbrink didn't like what he saw downfield, so he takes it upon himself to get about 2 yards to the 42-yard line.
Kreinbrink is not near the runner or all-around athlete that Kustok is, but has a much, much stronger arm.
And he's throwing into the wind, so maybe it's going to help him here, or help the Northwestern offense. Kreinbrink forced to run again. Gets the first down to the 35-yard line. Delonte McGrew has been living in the offensive backfield of the Wildcats, the defensive back for Wisconsin, over the last 3 plays. And he helped force that play up into the pocket, and Kreinbrink able to pick up the first down. There's that slant. Derek Thompson, he's had a busy day, Randy. A small 5'9", but quick receiver. And that's a gain of about 6 yards to the 29.
Well, as Northwestern has lost some of its other receivers due to injury, Derek Thompson gets more practice time with the first-string offense, and you'll really see these guys develop and start to play better because of that.
Let's take a look at the Dodge player of the game. And in case you're wondering, there he is. 35 totes. Got that 161 he needed. Got an extra yard, matter of fact. 68 career touchdowns, tying the Big Ten record. And he's closing in on 6,000 yards. Ranks 3rd right now. And this touchdown right here in the first half. Look at that line open up the hole, and Ron Dayne bursting through it for a touchdown to the first half.
Not to take anything away from Ron, but Wayne, you could have run through that.
No, I couldn't.
Of course, you wouldn't have got to the end zone. You could have got through the line.
I would have been gassed. Next week, we'll be moving back to Michigan, to the big house. 14th-ranked Michigan Wolverines, who are in a dogfight down in Indiana today, and they'll be taking on these Northwestern Wildcats. Kevin Bentley, the leading tackler, and Tom Brady leads the Big Ten in pass efficiency at quarterback for Michigan.
Wayne, you look at the scoreboard, you see it's 35-11, and you think this Wildcat team has a long way to go. And I do think they do have a long way to go. But they have played much better today than that score shows.
That was a great play by Jamar Fletcher to misdirect the pass intended down the sidelines for Derek Thompson.
As much success as Fletcher has, he doesn't go for the pump fake right there, but as much success as he has, teams continue to go after him. And he's got all the tools and continues to rise to the occasion and make the plays. As you said, great job right there, timing his jump and knocking that ball away at the last second.
Mike Eccles on the other side, Randy, has better speed, and you're right, people don't go at him as much, it seems like. Is that a busted play? Well, he busted it for a first down on a gain of about 12 yards if it was.
I don't think it was as much a busted play as it was well defensed by Wisconsin. It was the little option that they try to run from the shotgun, well defensed, and Kreinbrink wisely just cut it up the field.
The umpire on that play got trampled in the middle of the field. That'll happen occasionally. That's a dangerous officiating position. Gain of 11 yards.
He read the play, too. He knew it was supposed to go outside.
Yes. First down. Little pump fake. Kreinbrink out of bounds near the 14-yard line.
See, he goes out of bounds instead of taking the hit. And that's why he's going to still be in this next one.
Yeah, exactly. This is the 13th play of this drive coming up. And if you're wondering, well, what's Northwestern going to get out of this? Well, maybe a little confidence, a little momentum, because they're building.
They're going to get to execute their offense.
Exactly. In game situations against a very good defense.
And to finish the point I was making a little earlier, 35-11, you think it's not much, but they have had their chances. They have played this game, an outstanding team, much closer than that score shows.
13th play of the drive. Louis Ianni gets a good seal block off the left side. Outstanding block by Leon Brockmeyer. And he's close to the first down.
This is a new wrinkle this Wildcat offense has been running today, and their offensive linemen, this time Leon Brockmeyer, have done an excellent job of blocking this one and sustaining their blocks downfield.
Third down. Ianni's got a first down, may have more. May have the end zone. Just short. Well, you're watching a prized recruit. True freshman Louis Ianni pick up some meaningful yardage for him in this second half of play.
They say that he's not a miss guy. He's a north and south runner, a very hard runner, but he doesn't have the quick scat back type of moves that maybe a Damian Anderson has. I've been impressed and happy with what I've seen so far.
No question. They're going to have a couple of running backs in this program before long. They've got another one in dry dock, Chris Brown, a prize recruit. Now for the touchdown. Ianni turned back right at the pain of the goal line. And a penalty marker late. Derasani mixing it up with John Favre.
This may go against Favre. It looked as though he stepped on a Northwestern player that was down on the ground. And I think this may go against against Wisconsin as a personal foul, unsportsmanlike or something along those lines.
Moment, they'll have it sorted out, and we'll hear about it from Dennis Lipinski. You had the right call. Personal foul against Wisconsin. It's a matter of inches, though, on the penalty, right?
It's not a penalty in terms of many yards, you're right, but at least it was called, and it was John Favre was in the backfield. The lineman for Northwestern was down on the ground.
Foul on the defense. Half the distance to goal. First down.
And he just went up and stepped right on his face mask, and the official was looking at it and wisely threw the flag.
46 seconds to go in the game. Northwestern on the doorstep trying to pick up their second touchdown of the ball game. Wisconsin's going to move on 35-11. They've got the lead and will get the win. It has been a blustery but beautiful day in Evanston, and this place was filled when this ball game was hanging in the balance when it began. Today's Big Ten telecast was brought to you by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform. Be different. eFollett.com. Need college textbooks? Get out of line. Sleep In. Next time you travel, stay at Sleep In, the class by itself. Value City Department Stores and Value City Furniture Stores. Get the home team advantage. National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Prestone Antifreeze. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
Boy, you did that well.
Well, we've got some nice architecture in the area. Leaves are still on the trees. It looks warm enough to swim out there. There's been a few sailboats out there. Yep.
Is that our Heisman pose there?
I think so. I don't think Ron Dane's allowed to do it, but that guy is.
I don't think Ron Dane would do it either.
Kustok to the end zone for the touchdown, Ian Miller. Make that crime brink on the pass to Ian Miller. I beg your pardon.
That was a nice drive by this Wildcat offense. The game clearly already decided, but this offense trying to get better every time they step on the field, and it's what Randy Walker preaches. Let's not worry about who we're playing. Let's worry about ourselves. Let's try and get better ourselves. And he did a nice job putting this drive together, and as Crime Brink came in, as Kustok went out, executed it very well.
First career TD catch for Ian Miller, and they go for two once again. Crime Brink takes it himself, and he's in for the score. Well, maybe not the way they drew it up on the chalkboard, but they've converted twice on two-point conversions, and Kevin Wilson has something to build on going to Michigan next week.
Boy, I tell you, that is a coach. If I were a high school senior, I would love to play for. Listening to Kevin Wilson talk about what he wants out of his players, his offensive coordinator here, he's down on the field, just full of enthusiasm, pumps his players up the whole time, and you can tell they like playing for him.
Crime Brink, good play-action fake here on the goal line. That usually holds the defense for a moment, and then Ian Miller pops wide open.
Had his pick of receivers right there, and now you see the two-point conversion. Wisconsin doesn't go for the fake, and Crime Brink, a big kid, 6'3", 230 pounds, fights his way into that end zone.
There's a look at Nick Crime Brink, sophomore from Leipzig, Ohio.
Well, Wayne, you talked about something earlier with the fact that Northwestern is going to have a lot of good backs here in years to come, and they've got Damian Anderson and Louis Ayeni right now. One thing Randy Walker really believes is it takes more than 11 on offense and 11 on defense to be a good team. You need other players to push those guys and bring out the best in what they have. You can't just do it with 11.
And again, you know, 15 plays, 80 yards on that drive against a good defense, and Northwestern growing a little bit here in the late stages of this game. Onside kick attempt. This one goes a little deeper, more like a squib kick, and is covered quickly on the play by Bobby Myers. Penalty markers late. A lot of late hitting. Kevin Bentley is incensed down there.
Napoleon Harris hit a Wisconsin Badger, and that was deliberate and uncalled for and right in front of the official.
Kevin Bentley was reacting as if he got hit too. There's Napoleon Harris. Kevin Bentley was real upset as well, and
that right there may have been a retaliation for what happened earlier against Wisconsin down on the goal line, because that one was clearly uncalled for.
Personal foul against Northwestern. See if we can pick up the tail end of it now.
It's going to happen after Bobby Myers gets the ball, goes down. Take a look at, see if we can pick up right. There's Harris, number 8, right there. Comes up and just label. That's how players get hurt.
No question about that. Wow.
On the kick,
and Randy, I think you hit it right on the head, and that's probably your experience down on the field talking. That didn't just happen because Napoleon Harris wanted to take out Chris Coombs on the play, or Chad Coombs. That probably stemmed from something that was going on earlier in the ball game, and as you alluded to, maybe the John Fabre personal foul earlier, but just a few plays earlier.
That was a deliberate thought, and it wasn't something that you get caught up with in the heat of the moment, in my opinion. That's uncalled for, and Randy Walker is not going to put up with that kind of stuff in his program. I can assure you of that.
Scott Kavanaugh, fifth-year senior out of Naperville North High School at quarterback, and I'm sure he's got some family and friends here. Wisconsin is going to just down the football and run out the clock. Under a minute to go in the game before any more bad blood spills between these two teams. Peggy Kaczynski, what do you have? Well, we'll get to Peggy in just a moment when she's set up and ready to go. I'm sure we'll be hearing from her before long. Ron Dayne, 162 yards rushing here today as this one comes to a close. Final seconds ticking away. Randy Walker and his team didn't back down. As a matter of fact, put together a couple of drives in the second half of this ball game after being shut out in the first half. But an outstanding performance again by the Wisconsin Badgers, who continue to roll here today, 35-19. Peggy Kaczynski down on the field. Well, and Peggy Kaczynski, we'll go to her, I promise, in just a few moments as she gets set up and perhaps has an opportunity to visit with some of the Wisconsin Badgers. But Wisconsin now moves on to Purdue in the second leg of a road trip that very well can determine whether they make it back to the Big Ten championship. Northwestern, as we mentioned, will head to Michigan, knowing that they played some decent football in the second half of this one here today after being shut out 14-0 in the first half. A little post-game prayer, both sides. I believe Peggy Kaczynski is ready finally. Peggy?
We are. 35 carries, 162 yards, 2 more touchdowns. Do you have more in your legs for this? You've still got a couple games left in the season, Ron.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we just came out. It was a tough game, and, you know, the guys just plugged away.
I know you don't like to talk about rewards, and you like to give a lot of your rewards away. Is it true that you're going to give your offensive line some Ford Expeditions if you break the record?
Yeah, right.
We'll talk about that if you sign your pro contract, right?
Probably so.
Congratulations, Ron Dayne.
Thank you very much, Peggy. Ron Dayne heads off. 162 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns today. We'll be back to Wisconsin, to Northwestern after these messages.